Welcome to Conversations with Marlon Bolton, the podcast. On Conversations, we exchange thoughts and ideas with people from different experiences and backgrounds, which help shape a better quality of life for our residents. These conversations bring fresh perspectives that foster our city's growth and resilience. Our conversation starts right now. Welcome to Conversations. My name is Marlon Bolton, and I'm here with no other than the amazing Congresswoman Sheila Cherfilus McCormick. How are you doing?
Hi, Marlon. I am excited to be here. This is a great day to be here talking about the issues that concern the people and make sure that we're always delivering for the community.
That is awesome. In case somebody's listening and don't know who Congresswoman Sheila Cherfilus McCormick is, well, she was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives in January 2022, becoming the first Haitian American Democrat to be elected to Congress. She now proudly represents Florida's 20th district, and Representative Sheila McCormick is with us today, and we're so excited to have you. Well, I like to start this podcast with something fun. So before we go into the meat of the matter, tell me something cool about yourself that probably nobody else knows.
So I am like the best singer ever. I don't think people know that I'm a really good singer. And I'm a performer too. I dance like Beyonce. I sing like Beyonce. I really don't. I'm just kidding.
But you look like Beyonce.
Listen, I'm trying to. Thank you. I'm trying to. No, I love singing. I love singing, and I love the emotional connection. I love dancing. So most people think I'm more serious than what I am. But that is kind of like my downtime, is the singing and dancing and acting a fool, because most of the time I am very cerebral. Like I'm always reading, looking at, and analyzing. I think that's the real key to success. So when you're focused and working like that, you need a really big outlet, I say. And mine is karaoke. Don't catch me at a concert. I will be getting my life and singing.
Wow.
But that's the biggest part. I don't think people know how silly I am until they see me.
Wow.
I could give you an example of that also. So for my swearing in, an organization threw an event, and they said, well, who would you like to perform? And I said, the other night I was singing to 112, right?
Yes.
So 112 came, and when they came, we took the picture, and I said, can I sing with you? And they looked at me like, they were scared. And I said, no, I'm a good singer. So then as they were performing, they called me on stage, and I said, yes, this is my moment, moment. They passed me the microphone, and my entire team said, no, please, don't.
No.
And so I didn't sing. And when we went back to look at the video, I thought they passed me the mic, but actually I went on the stage and grabbed the mic. So, they're laughing. Yes.
Well, why don't you sing for us right now?
What song do you want me to sing?
I don't know. Something Beyonce.
Beyonce? I can't do Beyonce right now. That's too much. I feel like, give me a song to sing. What is your favorite song?
Well, sing an old hymn.
An old hymn?
Your Grace and Mercy.
Oh, man, you're giving me some hard stuff. You just give me a light singer, like, I don't know who, Jennifer Lopez.
Okay, Jennifer Lopez. How's that?
No, I'm not going to do it now. I think everybody, what song was I singing today? I'm trying to think, because every day I sing a song. You know what I've been singing, but I cannot sing it? It is the Sunday choir. Right. And it is the... I'm so terrible. I can't do it without any music or anything.
Yes.
But it's pretty much, thy faithfulness.
Great is thy faithfulness.
Yes.
I love that song.
There's another song too. I can't remember the name. I was singing it today with the sopranos kicking at the end.
Yes.
It's beautifully arranged.
Wow.
Beautifully. And so I sing it, and in my mind, I'm a soprano, and I hit the notes, and I believe that the angels are clapping, but they might be crying. Okay.
I love it. I love it. You're so awesome. Thank you for coming. I know that a lot of people in Tamarac, Broward County, and the rest of the state of Florida are asking a couple of questions. So let's get right into it. What headway have you made in tackling the housing crisis for Florida overall?
Well, what we've been able to do is really put in more money into the affordable housing, and not just our traditional affordable housing, but also workforce housing. Because the initial response that we had when we looked at the equation for affordable housing, we have so many new people who are coming into the district, who are coming in with their salaries from New York, California. So when you do the equation at one point, for you to actually qualify for affordable housing, you would need to make $90,000 for affordable, and it would only give you, for a 3-bedroom, you would be paying more than $3,000 a month. So the first legislation we did was to change that equation so it actually reflects the people. After that, we were able to bring in $14 million throughout the entire district. But I think the most significant thing that we were able to do is not just have Marcia Fudge, who is she leads HUD, she's the Secretary of HUD, in so she could see our issues, but we specifically targeted each community and started investing in them the way they needed the investment. What that means is in Tamarac, we were able to give $350,000 for first-time buyers because we saw a lot of people and the residents in Tamarac were really looking towards home ownership, getting them out of the rental system that just keeps on increasing. So that's why we specifically gave Tamarac that allocation. When we looked at other areas where we had renters who weren't ready for home ownership, we decided to go with Catholic Charities. We gave them $3.5 million. And what they're doing there is they have a flexible kind of spend account. So they can give you stipends for either your mortgage, your rent, or even your HOA fee. Or they can give it for you to help you with your homeowners insurance, which we saw it was being amplified, or even taxes. Because when we looked at the home ownership issue or the home issue we have now, it really varies depending on the place you are. People who own their homes now, some of them have a burden with taxes. Some of them are having a burden when it comes to housing insurance. So we're really trying to figure out how can we meet the needs of the people where they are. And we've also seen that the HOA fees have been climbing for people. So we had to be dynamic on how we're solving the issue. But the truth is that we have to do something with the realtors who are buying it, not the realtors, but the commercial companies who are buying it and renting it, and just really stopping the housing productivity, right? Having enough for everyone. So we're working on that, and that's the next legislation that we're looking going forward in. But the housing crisis for us in Florida is bigger than anywhere else. And I keep explaining to everyone in Congress is that we have multiple layers that are haunting us, especially as climate change keeps moving. Now our houses need to be fortified. We have climate resiliency issues, our canals. So that's why it's amplifying, and we have to be as quick and as agile to make sure that we have funding that's flexible for all of our constituents.
Wow. That's right on the money. Why is homeownership a critical factor?
Well, home ownership is usually the baseline for anyone to have any kind of equity in their home and to have stable income in their home, in the sense that if you have a home and you would like to rent it, you can rent it. If you want to take a mortgage against it, you can take a mortgage against it. But when you're paying your mortgage, I mean, it's implicit in it's ownership, right? The pride of having your own home, of having a stability, and also connecting you to the community. And for many people in the community who move to the district, who move into Tamarac, what you want to do is actually put your stake in the ground and say, this is my contribution, this is me, and this is how I give to the entire community. So one of the things we try so much to do is to alleviate some of the unnecessary anxiety, the unnecessary worry that a lot of people are feeling. So when you're buying a home, one of the biggest things you think about is, you see the price, you've saved money, and then you're having a deposit. They need a huge deposit, and you need help with your down payment, for your home, or even closing costs. Some people are shocked when they see how much the closing costs are. So we wanted to make sure we can alleviate some of that pain and help everyone elevate to the portion in their life where they can actually buy their own property and have equity.
You mentioned that $350,000 that the city of Tamarac received for first-time homebuyer programs, and that's great. So many people want that first-time homebuyer program. They've been asking for it, and now they'll know that from your advocacy, they're actually going to own a home. And that's amazing. Affordable home ownership helps build generational equity. Data showed significant demand for Tamarac's qualified first-time homebuyer assistance programs. So what impact do you anticipate from this project?
Well, we're hoping that the more homeowners we have in the community, the more stability we'll see, economic stability that we'll start finding. Simultaneously, we're working with the county, where we've given dollars to the county so the county can also help people once they get into their house. If you have to refurbish your home, or if you have to keep your home up to be climate resilient, or any issues you may have in your home. But then we're also doing more projects to help people get better jobs. So as we have job training, job skills training, we're investing in the community. We want to see there's more stability. We want to see that our seniors who are here can actually retire in peace without that extra level of anxiety. And we're hoping for us to see just a cumulative rise, right, in safety, security, and just more productivity.
You know, Congresswoman, you're so smart, you're so intelligent. I love it. You understand over and above the issues that are affecting your district. How can we preserve the progress we have made during the 117th Congress?
Well, that's an interesting question. I think that some people may not understand that the 117th Congress was the most productive Congress that we've seen in decades. A part of that reason, I always tell people, I said, well, you have to understand that our president was a legislator for years. He understands the process. He knows who to tap to make sure it's moving through. And so when I came in a special election in the middle of it, it was a whirlwind. I mean, we had markups, bills, we got calls. You have a bill, push it through. And so we did a lot of great things in that moment. And this year, what we're doing now, because we don't have the control of the House that we used to, and we started off this year kind of, it was rocky. When we saw even voting for who was going to be our speaker, McCarthy, we went through 15 rounds of votes, never seen before in the history of the United States, 15 rounds, right? And then continuing from that, when we were even trying to pass rules for the 118th Congress, it took us more than 2 weeks to pass rules for the Congress, right? So that kind of gives you the understanding of the instability that's going on with the leadership that we have now with this new party who's leading. So what we've been doing is focusing on all the bills that we have passed and also working hand in hand with the agencies. What does that look like for us? Basically, we passed some of the biggest bills, from the infrastructure bill, from the Inflation Reduction Acts to the CHIPS Acts. What we're doing with that now is partnering with the agencies and pulling them down directly into our district. What's great about our district is that our district is dynamic, where we have some areas that are rural, suburban, urban. We have so many different types of people, and in each bill you'll see a designation for each type of community. Some of them we have twofers, I would say. So in my district, if you set aside money for the rural areas and the urban communities and the suburbs, guess what? We qualify for all of it. So my obligation right now is to pull it down and to make sure that every elected, every local, every state, every county, every member of the community can have an opportunity to now participate. And I always explain to people who asked me, what are you guys doing in Congress? We're feeling inflation. The gas is going up. The food price is going up. And I always try to remind my colleagues in D.C. and the constituents that, to me, I feel like it's like Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, I'm a cook. I like to cook, right? I put truffle in everything. And so I cook all the time. And Thanksgiving, we're in the kitchen. While we're in the kitchen, I have all the other cooks we're great. So we're in there, we're cooking all day. And, sometimes the time escapes us because we're making the best dish and we're doing this. And my family's like, listen, it's 5 o'clock. We're hungry. We didn't eat since this morning. And I'm like, the food's coming. But the truth is, they don't care about what I'm putting into the dish. They want to eat now. They don't care about, how beautiful it looks. We're hungry. And that's the same thing that goes on in Congress. In Congress, we're writing these bills. We're like, oh, this is going to be great. I can't wait for you to get it. But the American people, as we're debating and trying to make sure it's perfect, the American people are starving.
Wow.
And so powerful. Now we have the opportunity, I feel like this is Thanksgiving. The food's cooked. Yes. Now I got to serve you, and I can't wait for you to taste it. I can't wait to bring down the dollars from the CHIPS Act, where we can have more investments, not just into chips, but engineering, agricultural engineering. There's so many different things that we can start now teaching the community so they can actually get better skills. Inflation reduction, that's helping energy in your home. So that should bring down the cost that you're spending every day on your energy. When we looked at even the infrastructure bill, there's little things that we don't realize. We all have canals. When you have your canal or your backyard always overflowing, little issues that we see that now will start being resolved. So when we started this year, I'm like, yes, it's Thanksgiving. Everybody gets to eat. Everybody gets to enjoy what we've been preparing all year. Wow. And so this is the start of it, right? our community projects. So this 350,000, even though we did it last year when we saw it coming, we get to give it to the community now. You know? So even though we said, okay, we have $3.5 million we're giving to Catholic charities to help people who are suffering with their rents, their mortgage, now we get to do it. So this is actually the most exciting time of my career because I feel like it's Thanksgiving, I'm Santa Claus. I feel like we get to give. And so I hope that the process of bringing it down is smooth. That's what we're working with now. There's some bumps in the road when it comes to the state because some dollars are allocated to the state. We just hope that it can come down in a fair pace. And we're hoping that we can meet people's needs before it's too late, before homelessness sets in, before people are sacrificing. And so that's the goal, is that we can meet them before it's too late.
Right. Here's a personal bonus question. Earmarking. Is it here to stay? Is it going away?
Community projects this year, the new speaker has allowed us to have it. Good. So we have them this year. And I think we're going to have them next year. I think they're a great way for us to test out pilot programs. For my community projects last year, what we really looked at health, and we looked at some of the determinants, health determinants, social determinants. With that, we allocated some funding for tablets. These tablets are going to be going into multi-generational homes, and within it, they're going to have pre-programmed on it healthcare services you might need that may be free. For example, we also funded cervical cancer screening. So if you need a free cervical cancer screening, you can click on it and they'll tell you when. If you need breast cancer screening, they'll be there. We also funded some mental health initiatives. So let's say you need a mental health, you can have it right there. So we're doing that to see if we can bridge the gap between healthcare and the quality of life that you're living for all Americans. And that's why it's in multi-generational households. Because what we found is when you find a child maybe who may have some developmental issues, some mental health issues, anxiety, depression, usually behind that veil, their parents do too. There's going to be some kind of trauma. So if we now can introduce the entire family to a healthier way of existing mentally, physically, then we should see community changes that are necessary. In addition to that, homelessness, housing, these are barriers to healthcare. So that allowed me the open door to start funding housing because that's a huge initiative, a huge issue that we have. So it gave us pretty much a pilot program that if this can work and we can see our entire society getting better for everyone, despite your background, economics, for everyone, then this is something we would like to see on a national scale.
Congresswoman Sheila Cherfilus McCormick, you are a rock star.
Oh,
you are
thank you.
needed in our district. I'm happy you are here, and I'm happy that you're representing us. And Tamarac loves you.
Well, I love Tamarac. And
Yes.
Marlon, you're doing a great job. I can't wait to see you in Tallahassee because I think that with your dynamic view and constantly being on the ground talking to the people, we need a unique voice in Tallahassee, one that can work with everyone. A lot of the times when we talk about Tallahassee and in Congress, a lot of people view partisan politics.
Yes.
And what I keep reminding everybody when I talk, because I work with everyone,
Yes.
and if you talk to everybody, they'll be like, oh, everybody loves Sheila. But I'm not saying that to boast of myself, but I said because I always tell people before I got into politics, when I worked, I didn't know what your background was. I didn't know if you're a Democrat or Republican. I just knew that we need to solve a problem. We need to work together. So taking that with you wherever you go, I think is imperative. And understanding that, as a human, we're all humans. We all are humanitarians, are supposed to be. And you're somebody's son just like I'm somebody's daughter.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so the good that needs to be done for people individualistically has nothing to do with the label, the artificial label that we put on people. And I think we need more of that in Florida. We need more of that in Congress. And we'll start seeing our community moving back to civility, where we're prioritizing people and families and just really living up to the American promise, the promise of living life with liberty, freedom, and justice, and holding people accountable. So that's what this is really about, us evolving our country and moving closer to being a more perfect union.
Yes, I like that. What a wonderful way to end our podcast. Congressman Sheila Cherfilus McCormick represents Florida's 20th district. That includes the city of Tamarac. Well, this has been Conversations with Marlon Bolton. Until next time, walk good. Thanks for tuning in to Conversations with Marlon Bolton, brought to you by the City of Tamarac, Office of Commissioner Marlon Bolton.